Hi, thanks so much for being here. I really appreciate it. So today I have a video of a little small miniature literature unit that I'm doing on North American folk tales, folklore, tall tales, all of that. I'm going to share with you guys a podcast that fits really in and the books I've collected. And yeah, so this unit is American folk stories and tall tales because we're studying U.S. history. I want to show you guys real quick. I just wrote in this planner that to go along with this curriculum, which this is the main book. This is Folk Stories and Tall Tales by Claire Cox Starkey and Xana Goldhawk. I believe is the illustrator. And so I made a list of, there's a podcast I'm going to link in the description called Circle Round. Now they do like folklore, folk tales, from around the world, stories from around the world, but I went on their archives and I found all the ones that were linked to North America. So even though we're studying U.S. geography for history, I felt like it was a little bit too much of a small area to study. So I decided to just do North America for this little mini unit. And so I just did North America. So I wrote down all the episodes. I went through their archive and just looked whichever ones were based in North America. So they ended up being like a whole page of them. And I wrote the episode number so I can just enter that on Spotify or just Google it. And so we're going to listen to, because we already listened to the majority of the episodes over the last few years. We would listen to it at night before bed. I highly recommend the podcast Circle Round. It's really awesome. And so now we're going to go back and just listen to the ones that are North American. And I don't know if I'm necessarily going to link them. I think we'll kind of just rotate them in. So yeah, so we're going to do this podcast. And then we are going to read this book. I ordered this book from Amazon, North American Folklore. It's beautiful. I was supposed to be subtracting things because I'm having a baby in August and we're moving in the fall, but I got this last minute idea and I get excited the most about those last minute ideas that I get right before the school year starts, and I have to go with them because if I'm super passionate about something, then my daughter usually is too, and she helped me gather the books for this unit. So basically it has origin stories, animal stories, nature stories, tricksters, folk heroes, and tall tales, all from North America. And so we already started it. We read chapter 1, which describes origin stories, and then this is where we'll pick back up. We're going to do this once a week when we do geography. So we're still doing the geography book. If you guys saw my previous homeschool videos on 6th grade, we're still doing the same geography book on United States monuments. But we're going to add this in because really that book doesn't take very long. So whenever it gets to, this is like a Navajo tale, the origins of the sun, moon, and stars. We're going to look up, I have my daughter look up where the Navajo tribe lived in North America. And then we will use our globe to tie in geography. So this is basically just an oral unit, and that's why I didn't feel bad about adding it in. Not bad, but I didn't feel like it was too much because I wanted to subtract things. But if we get off track with this book, we can just pick back up after, I get back on schedule with everything. So I really wanted to add this in because I want to do a giant unit in the future of folk tales around the world and folklore, folk tales, fairy tales, all of that. And I'm not sure if I'm going to do it by continent or by separate areas or whatever. But so now this is the North America, and then we're going to piggyback off of this, and I'm going to do a larger unit in the future, and then we'll probably still reuse this book. But yeah, so now I have a few library books to show you guys and the books from our shelf that I pulled. The first thing we're doing is we are completing this book first because this is our main book. These books were on our shelf. Mythology, my daughter grabbed this book. I wanted to kind of focus more a little bit on just stories. So mythology, fairy tales, folklore, folk tales, same thing, description for the same thing, and tall tales. But my daughter said, she grabbed this and she's like, they have some stories in here from North America. So she bookmarked them. This is Gods and Heroes, Mythology Around the World. So I'm just going with it. Mythology, yeah. So It's all stories. So she grabbed this one and she went ahead and bookmarked like this one, Coyote Trickster of the Southwest North America. So after we finish the first book I showed you, we're gonna grab this one, which she already read this one, but that's what's so great about stories. You can just reread them and reread them in fairy tales. So mythology, all of that. So we're gonna go ahead and go through this book where she bookmarked the ones that are based, you know, in North America. Like this one's Hawaiian. So yeah, so we're going to do that. So that's the second book, because that we already owned it. And then yeah, the other one was new from Amazon. And then these two, we collect these Angela McAllisters. Now I want to buy all of the set of the Angela McAllister. So this is A Year Full of Stories, 52 Folktales and Legends Around the World. And then this is A World Full of Spooky Stories. So we did the same thing here. I think, yeah, we bookmarked all the ones. This one's really nice. It goes by the months of the year. But we bookmarked all the ones that were, you know, North American. So we're going to go back and read the North American stories that are in here. And this will take us through the whole year of 6th grade. Of doing this, I was just kind of fun. You know, I could have put it in our language arts or I could have put it in geography, but I think it'll be fun to kind of find the geographical location of each story. And so this one, I was going to pull out anyway for Halloween because she already read it over the summer. But we did the same thing here. We just went ahead and bookmarked the stories that were from North America. And yeah, so I'm going to go back and put a magnetic bookmark. I just kind of pulled this for the video to show you guys. But yeah, I'm going to go back like this one's, here's North America. And it's like a lot of them are just like one page. So we can get through them really quickly. So I don't feel like it's adding too much to our plate for 6th grade because you guys, I was trying to minimize things. But I just love books. I've showed these books before too. That's why I don't want to go over them too much. If you watched my videos before, if you haven't, yeah, I've talked about these books a lot because I really love them. They're beautiful illustrations. But yeah, so now I just grabbed 3 library books. My library didn't have a lot. I have a very small library near me that I get resources from, and they didn't have a lot of American folklore. But I grabbed John Henry, Julius Lester, and Jerry Pinkney. And then this is Johnny Appleseed, Tall Tale by Stephen Kellogg, and this is Paul Bunyan, retold and illustrated by Stephen Kellogg. Sorry, I have cat hair all over my table. So John Henry, in the beginning, tells you the information, and then it gets into the story. I love these classic illustrations, like these hand-drawn or hand-painted, whatever. It looks like watercolor. I don't know if it was like pencil with watercolor over it, but so I love the illustrations. These are like, I think, older books from like the 80s, and I just love let's see. I love these older. I find a lot of illustrations have changed, like modern. I like both different. I like a million different styles. This is from 1994, but yeah, so this is John Henry. So we will check that one out. Johnny Appleseed, same thing. I think this one was made in like the 80s or 90s. Yeah, 1988. So I love the illustrations. So this is Johnny Appleseed, which I haven't like looked up any of this stuff since like, I remember singing the songs in like kindergarten, like John Henry and learning about like stuff like this, like really, really young. I think you're like never too young for fairy tales and nursery rhymes and folklore. I think it's so fun. So, and this is Paul Bunyan. So we will add those in. And yeah, so, I want to collect more of her books. She has quite a few, and we get a lot of use out of them, as you guys probably noticed. Like, I've showed them a lot. We read them just seasonally, and just like we've read them before, just oral reads for literature for homeschool, and then now I'm doing this mini unit with them. So I'm so excited. Thank you guys so much for watching and subscribing. I'd love for you to comment or like this video. It helps support my channel. Just being here does too. Thank you. Bye.